Please welcome Filberto Diaz.
Filberto Diaz out of Capital City MMA and BJJ.
Your referee in charge is Robert Himes.
Locking up and immediately looking for wrist control is Diaz.
I'm seeing a lot of upper body grappling. I haven't really seen anybody go for the legs. And so sometimes when, nice little shove. An arm drag attempt gets him to the back, but almost pulls himself into a mounted position. Good recovery, and now into butterfly guards.
It does look like maybe from the bottom, Myers going to be looking to elevate potentially to attack a leg. And it's, aside from just being 19, to be just training 1 year and to already have that sort of game in your repertoire, I should say, Jessica. It speaks volumes to the training he's getting in the gym, because that's some high-level stuff.
Absolutely right.
Diaz remaining calm as he looks to engage a passing sequence there.
And Mir doing a good job, but constantly trying to off balance. He's constantly rolling the wrist, trying to get that hand position, elevating with his legs really well. Now he's going for a shoulder attempt, which you can swip from that position as he's trying to. But Diaz doing a great job of posturing and not letting Mir get that head control, get that lockdown on the shoulder.
Clearing his leg there is Diaz momentarily again recomposing, let's say, the semblance of a guard momentarily is Jackson Mayer. Now, despite not seeing a whole lot just yet, I am impressed by the demeanor of Diaz. He does seem very calm, very composed, waiting for, I almost treat it as, I call it opportunistic jiu-jitsu, right? And there his opportunity to present itself, immediately going to north-south.
What he did was he made Mir attack, create an opening, and then he capitalized on it. He was momentarily in a north-south position. Mir has regained a butterfly guard again and is going for that same kind of elevated butterfly sweep. Now looks like he has an underhook on the leg, just constantly trying to off balance, but Diaz is doing a great job of floating, staying aware, and then letting Mir create openings for him to attack and for him to pass.
Looking for that same pass from earlier was Diaz, and doing a good job of, when it failed to the left, passing to the right.
Halfway, Jackson, halfway.
Using that knee shield from the bottom is Jackson. Fishing for another leg entanglement here is Jackson Meyer.
The matrix is hard to do in no-gi, but it is possible. You can go to a bear trap kind of calf slicer from there, which is really fun. Again, Diaz getting into a north-south kind of attempt, but not able to really sink his weight down. Mir's doing a great job at retaining guard and staying like really kind of annoying with his legs.
Yeah, As a matter of fact, it's got to be pretty, mentally defeating if you're the top player and you put all that work into passing just for that one leg to keep finding its way over the top for that recomposition. But this time, a nice pass.
The thing is, if you get there
momentarily.
once, you can do it again. So, yes, it is discouraging. It is frustrating, but he's seeing openings. He's getting there again and again and again. It's just making those small adjustments. I would like to see him next time, if he gets into that position again, to really sink his weight down. He had his head over his hips, shoulder pressure on the hips, and that was the start of good solidification of a position.
From the feet, it feels like Diaz can kind of almost lull you to sleep, and then before you know it, he's getting in on those legs. You know what? Similar to the jiu-jitsu that we saw on the ground. It's opportunistic, and honestly, I like it.
It does work there, and to your point, you do kind of lull your opponent into a false sense of security when you do that. They're not getting any kind of repercussions for their actions, so they're going to go, maybe get a little bit more aggressive, and that's when you counter.
Potentially a failed throw there for Jackson, as Diaz more than happy to settle into the top position. You could just tell that from the bottom, Myers' hips are so loose and he's so good at inverting and recomposing that guard that things like maybe a basic double underhook pass, they're just not going to pay dividends with somebody with this sort of an active guard.
No, Mir is great at finding those little openings to get his legs back in a retained guard.
Potential Darcy, again. It's those squirrely hips. It's the ability to stay. Every time it feels like Diaz has the answer, Meyer changes the question.
This is probably the most settled in a north-south that I've seen Diaz thus far. But again, he just kind of gave up. He had pressure. He was almost locked in for a Darce, and he gave it up.
At the conclusion of our opening round, there must be a winner. Therefore, our overtime round is on the way.
The flip goes to the red corner, so it's Diaz deciding to go from neutral here.
Well, I think he's confident enough in getting a takedown, staying on top, and looking good to the judges. It is a strategic move in my mind.
Again, snatching up that single. Beautiful job by Diaz. He doesn't make too much. It's not a big production, right? It's very workmanlike, like you said earlier. He just kind of gets his head in there. He pummels in for position. And as soon as that leg presents itself, he's all over it.
Mir almost too calmed and composed in this bottom position for this post-regulation round. And again, Diaz back into a north-south. Mir doing a great job of keeping his hips off of him. I really want to see him just kind of hip down, switch those hips and sink down.
What, does he have an earbud to you? Because right as you said that, you saw him kind of sink his weight down and it paid some dividends. Yeah, at the end of the day, when you've kind of been going to that same well over time and time again, you realize you got to do something a little bit differently. And you know what? If that's the best position that you're able to accomplish, you might as well go there and make the most of it in overtime.
Now Diaz is going knee on belly. He's staying a lot tighter right now, but again, Mir gets those legs in. There's a great back take from that position that Mir's in. I think he's flexible enough to do it, but now Diaz is a little bit too high.
Veteran referee Rob Hines moving the action over just that touch. As Diaz just continues to grind away from the top.
This post-regulation round, I really like to see the guys kind of take it into a second, third, fourth gear. They're still kind of coasting in first gear in my mind.
Well, not a lot of time left as we are under 30 seconds. Some of those matchups are certainly happy to be sitting here dressed like a nerd behind a mic and not judging, because this is a really tricky one to really get a vibe for, Jessica.
For me in this, I feel like it's a... Oh, I was just about to say I feel like it's almost easy for me. But again, I'm not a judge.
Grappling fans, the winner of this matchup via unanimous decision, out of the red corner, Gilberto Diaz. And let's hear it for his opponent, Jackson Meyer.
For me, I saw Diaz winning that.
That top pressure.
Yeah,
being
it was
the
top
deciding
pressure.
factor.
He got into not necessarily north